Okay, and we are live. How are we all doing, guys? Hope everybody is doing well. Okay, so we promised a big update on the takeover this week. I didn't think it would come today, but it has. It has come in big style. An awful lot of news breaking today all around the potential for Qatari ownership. It looks like we are getting closer to that being the reality of the situation, and it looks like that's where we will be going in the very near future. So everything started off today. Of course, Rio Ferdinand came out this morning with a strange video coming from a train station of all places on his phone, and he said he had it on good authority from a very good source within Manchester United that the Qatar deal was close. A couple of hours later, it broke again. It came out that now all of a sudden Sheikh Jassim, his 92 foundation, they're a company now in the United Kingdom. They are officially incorporated into the United Kingdom's companies register. That had to be done before any takeover could take place. And now the stocks are at an all-time high. All of a sudden, there is talk coming out from very respectable financial institutions such as Reuters saying that the Glazers are preferring to sell to Sheikh Jassim, that they are preferring to go out and sell to him, that is where the club will be going. They have sent that to every single financial terminal in the world. This is now insider knowledge within the financial world. Okay, we got comments coming in. Who's down there? Stephanie is saying it has to happen now. So it does. And Double A is in there saying, how are you, man? It's good to see you as well. Thank you very much for joining in with us. So very, very positive news breaking tonight all day long. We've waited for this day for a very long time. Some concrete updates, some concrete progress on this takeover, which has been going on for months upon months upon months. But we do have the latest for you guys on the show. So, of course, it's Faisal Islam, of course, BBC financial sport reporter. He has come out in the last couple of minutes, and now what he has basically said is every single financial terminal in the world, they're all linked through the Bloomberg system. Reuters has sent a one-line message to them expecting to see an update on a Qatari ownership. He has described the situation as being 3-2 up in the 89th minute. That is the position that Qatar find themselves in, according to BBC Sport and Faisal Islam. So that is a very, very big statement. That is something you do not come out with if you do not have confidence. So it is viewed by the Glazers as the preferred bid at this point. Now, there is talk of exclusive talks. That hasn't quite happened yet. But according to Reuters, once again, they're in negotiations. Now, we've seen this coming out from Simon Stone. He's a very good reporter for all things Manchester United. But he goes to the club for information and they give it to him. They give him the club spin on everything. So when Simon Stone tweets negative, it's because Manchester United want him to put a story down. That's what they're looking for. And I think that's another case of it today. He came out with a negative article, a negative headline. United are not in any sort of exclusive talks and all parties are still involved. That didn't sound good on paper, but when you consider Reuters are saying that it's not exclusive yet, but they're negotiating for that, it all starts to make sense. The pieces of the puzzle are coming together for Manchester United. But guys, get your thoughts in. We are running a poll in the comments, and I'm asking you guys directly, have Qatar won the race to buy Manchester United? Simple yes or no at the moment, 18 votes, and 94% of you guys are going for yes. It does look like Qatar are on their way to Manchester United. So we'll start to get the news into the comments. You guys can see it as well, just as we go through it, because there is so much breaking about this. This has been an all-day story, and we will be bringing you guys the very, very latest as we go along, because no doubt there will be stuff breaking. Double A is in the comments saying, managed to catch the show. Thank you very much, man. Thanks for joining in. So, Alex Crook, Talk Sport, he has said that Sheikh Jassim is growing in confidence the Glazer family will accept his offer. Jassim believes Joel and Avram Glazer, the two most stubborn Glazers, the two guys who have held this entire sales process up, they are now considering accepting his offer, and that means we are finally getting progress. Who else is down in the comments? I can see Big T, Simon Stone, Ben Jacobs, and Mike Kagan are playing it down. Why do you think that is? I think it's because when you have football reporters, basically they will go out to Manchester United. That is the source. The club are the source. When United want to put a rumour down, when United want to play something down, they put those articles out. United can't come out as of yet and confirm anything because as a public company, we are subject to an awful lot of laws and stuff, and it could be deemed as market manipulation at this moment in time. So what they have to do is they will play it down. We will know the big financial guys, Reuters, Bloomberg, the big Wall Street investment funds. They're feeling very confident of this happening. Now, it's been reported that United have sold over 400 million shares today, which is far, far higher than anything we have done before. We are now up to $26 when last week we were only at 18. So that's a big, big increase in the last couple of days. So there definitely is something happening. The big Wall Street guys are aware of it. And whenever you see Mike Keegan, guys like that come, and Simon Stone, what they're basically doing is asking the club, is this true? And at this moment in time, the club will have to put those rumours down. That's basically the upshot of the situation. But we can find out more by listening to the big financial reporters, because as a public traded company, as an organisation that is sold on the New York Stock Exchange, we will be subject to all that information, and those sources that will report on the likes of Apple, Amazon, their shares, all that stuff, all the financials. They will have insider information on Manchester United, and they will be telling their clients Manchester United are about to be sold to Sheikh Jassim. If you buy shares now, he will have to buy them at a higher price. And that is confidence in the market in this club being sold. Stephanie is saying, Sheikh Jassim has won. It would be good to hear. Big up. Thank you very much for the comment. And thanks to everybody for joining in with us so far, live at the slightly earlier time of 7:45. And I think this probably will be the time going forward. Obviously, a lot of other guys are on at the same time, so we want to make sure everybody catches the show as well. So, very, very happy with today's updates. Very happy with where this takeover is going. At long last, we are getting progress. And I think that is the key of this situation. We have wanted progress for a very, very long time. We have been stuck in the mud. We have been false starts, false dawns. There has been stalled in talks. There's been people threatening to walk away. We've had talk of Glazers staying and not selling. Finally, it looks like we're getting to the point that we will be selling the club, and I think that is going to be very, very positive. So, according to Reuters, so this is the big story of the day, the Qatari offer is currently viewed by the Glazer family as the most favourable bid. That is good news for all Manchester United fans. Now, whether we want Qatar, whether we want Jim Radcliffe, whether we want somebody else to come in to buy us, I think we can all agree we want the Glazers gone. And I think we are heading towards that. I think we're finally getting to that point, and that's a big, big positive. And when you have the likes of Reuters and Bloomberg coming out with this information, there's a lot of insider confidence in this happening. And I think that is good to know, because as we know, like big investment funds, they are circling around Manchester United. There will be big private investors in United. They will want to know if the club is going to be sold. We will find that out from the likes of the Financial Times, from Wall Street Journal, from Reuters, from Bloomberg. Organizations like that, those are the most trustworthy sources at this moment in time, because they have nothing to lose in putting this information out. It is very well sourced. It is very well scrutinized before being published because of the weighting of it. I mean, put it this way, if Fabrizio Romano comes out and gets a transfer story wrong, like, he's not going to end up in court over it. But if Reuters say United are being sold to Qatar and they are not, then they could end up in court because of that, because they will have clients who will want that information, who pay big money for those types of insider information. So I think that's something we have to consider, is that football journalists, whilst we can follow them pretty much all of the time, I would definitely say, Simon Stone, David Ornstein, Mike Keegan, those guys are who we want to listen to, all things football. I think when it comes to this, I think we need to take our lead from the more business type organizations. That's where I think we need to be looking at as a fan base. But any more thoughts, guys, get them into the comments and let me know on the poll. Will Manchester United be sold to Qatar? Has Sheikh Jassim finally won the takeover race? Will he get the club at long last? He's been looking this for a very long time. We have been looking sold for a very long time, and it looks like we are going somewhere. Who else is down in the comments? We can see Irfan is there as well. Do you like Mike McQueen or Onana? We will actually be moving on to Onana at some point in the show, because there is big talk of Manchester United going in for Onana as well as Diogo Costa, with the potential of David De Gea leaving. It's a real possibility United go for another goalkeeper this summer. So, all things considered, TakeOver, it is moving in a very, very positive direction. I think we can be very happy as fans. Tonight, we are finally getting somewhere. I mean, we've waited a long time for this day. We have waited so long for Manchester United to finally look like we're being sold. It took 18 years to get the Glazers out. It looks like it's happening now at long last. So, Joel and Avram Glazer are warming to the idea of a full sale, reports Alex Crook of TalkSport. I think that's pretty interesting information. Now, I'm pretty sure what Alex Crook has been doing in this scenario is going out, basically reading up what the financial guys are saying, and he's kind of just put his own twist on it. But I think it's good to have as many sources confirming this information. Who else is down in the comments? Drone is saying Qatar in full sale only. Thank you very much for that one, man. And who else is down there as well? Irfan is saying Qatar is a done deal. Not a done deal yet, but we are getting closer and closer to resolution, to the Glazers being gone. And I think once that happens, things will start to happen very quickly at the club. Let's see. Big T is in the comment. Qatar have picked up and won. Why is it not being announced? What is the benefit to either party holding back the announcement? Well, I think basically because we are a public company, I think we have an awful lot of financial laws. There will be stuff that United have to do. A lot of due diligence. There will be a lot of anti-competition laws. There will be a lot of stock market laws as well. It's one of the big byproducts of being a club floated on the stock exchange. We have to conform to the same sort of laws and stuff that the likes of Apple do, that the likes of Amazon, big companies like that. What we have to do, essentially, is have the sale pretty much agreed, have a price agreed, and that's why we're talking exclusivity, because when that happens, and if it does happen, all of a sudden a price can be thrashed out very quickly, because as we know, Sheikh Jassim wants 100% of the club. That is something he has always wanted. So to do that, he has to buy up all the Glazer shares, but he will also have to buy up shares from the public stock market as well, buy them up in their entirety. So if for instance, it was reported in the morning that Sheikh Jassim had agreed to buy all United shares and he would be buying them before close of business tomorrow, what we basically would have then is the stock market will go crazy. Everybody would want to buy these shares. It could put the price away up, and that would mean that those guys would make a quick bit of money. That's what all these big players are in. All these investment guys, all the Wall Street banks, the investment funds, they're here to make money out of this situation. That's why we're seeing the stock price going up, because when it goes up, when demand increases, the price increases as well. He also got down in the comment, we're seeing Lucky Singh is saying Qatar will get us and hopefully we'll get exclusivity potentially. Big T says, do you think Premier League investigation into owners will hold things up? Yes, I do. This was confirmed just the other day. Actually, it was pretty much confirmed that the Premier League owners, appropriate ownership, basically, they would take probably 2 to 3 weeks to come up with a decision and ratify it with Sheikh Jassim taking over. Now, it's not a byproduct that this would happen. They did step in initially. They prevented the Saudi Arabians from buying over Newcastle. They opposed it, and it didn't happen. It had to wait for another season. It had to mean that the Saudis had to go form up a company as well, and the company ended up buying Newcastle United. Now, I think Sheikh Jassim probably will get around that with his 9-2 foundation. That is something that he has incorporated in the UK companies registered today. So that is officially now registered to work in the United Kingdom. A very important step if he is to go on to buy Manchester United. He has to have his company registered. He has to be legal here in terms of business dealings. And once he has that, we can then move on. So who else is down in the comments? Let's see. Stephanie is saying, is the debt cleared immediately? I don't know. I think it will probably take some time. I think it is the plan of Sheikh Jassim. I mean, put it this way. I was looking at the numbers. So basically, the Glazers bought the club with debt. They never paid the debt off. The club paid the debt. They made $1 billion taking money out of the club. Now they're going to sell the club for $6 billion and have the debt paid off for them. So they basically have managed to do this all for free. Like, that's ridiculous. I mean, like, it does go to show you the levels that these guys are at. They are absolute leeches, and they have drained the life out of this football club. But no more. It does look like we are getting towards the end of Glazer ownership at long last. I'm very excited about that. Lucky Singh says, has the 9-2 Foundation heard back from the Rain Group today? I don't know on that one. We are still waiting for further details to come out and emerge. We will expect more once the New York Stock Exchange closes as well. So that will be something to watch out for. Should be closing up hopefully within the next hour or so. I'm not 100% on the American time zones, but it definitely will be moving very quickly. I think Mike Keegan said a couple of days ago, expect news, expect an update. Progress will be made on this takeover by the end of the week. Let's see what happens on that. I think we've had a big news break today. I'm expecting more news to follow in the next 24 hours, the next 48 hours. Big times for Manchester United, of course. Who else is down in the comments there? And I can actually see plenty of people are joining in, so it's good to see you guys. If you guys want to let me know on the poll, we are asking you tonight, have Qatar won the takeover race? Yes or no? Simple answer, simple question. At the moment, 95% of you guys are going with yes. Big confidence in the Qatari bid. I have to say, I'm feeling confident myself at this point. It does look like we've had more movement in the past week with Qatar than what we have done with the Ineos bid. I think the Ineos bid has been, and Radcliffe's bid has basically been complicated because he needs to get external funding from banks. He needs to go sell bonds. The interest rate markets, they're not great at the moment. So there will be, of course, concerns on that, and I think it's basically held things up. It's allowed Sheikh Jassim to come back in. It was only a week ago today we were sitting here on the show. I remember very clearly we were saying, of course, that potentially Sheikh Jassim was going to walk away. He did say if his bid was not accepted, he would walk away, and there'd be no more negotiations. Now, all of a sudden, it looks like he's about to buy the club. So there has been big updates this week. James is down in the comments saying, Qatar, absolutely, man, looks like it. I think that's a shade as well, saying, good evening, good to see you, man, and capital Y for yes. You definitely think Qatar are coming. Thank you very much for that one, man. So, Glazer family, it finally has happened. They're finally going for this full sale. This is something we didn't think we were going to get. Now, we have heard ever since this takeover process began, way back in, what was it, October, November? Basically, there was a split in the Glazer family. Joel and Avram, as the two biggest shareholders in the Glazer family, they had said that they wanted to keep hold of Manchester United. The other Glazer siblings, Darcy, Brian, Edward, I think there's another one, they wanted out. That was the thing. There was a split in the family, which has really weakened their position. Now, all of a sudden, now Joel and Avram are looking out, and if they're looking out, I think we are looking at a full sale. They were the biggest sticking factor. It did seem for months upon months they would not accept any bid that could see them removed from Manchester United. Of course, a lot of things have happened since then. Lucky Singh is saying, guys, did Qatar had a meeting today about the next step? I'm sure they have. I mean, we've seen photos of Sheikh Jassim in Qatar at business meetings today. Now, I don't know when those photos were taken, but it does always seem like we get more photos of Sheikh Jassim every single time there's some sort of an update on the Qatari takeover. So, let's wait and see. I think a big 24 hours coming up. Expect word at the weekend. Now, for everybody who might not be 100% on financial markets and stuff, basically, Friday after the close of business is a time when most companies will break news. If there's any news to be broke this week, it will be broke tomorrow, probably tomorrow night, Saturday, because that means that they will not be charged with manipulating the stock price. Like if United came out and said today that Sheikh Jassim would buy the club, the stock price will go through the roof instantly because people would want to make money off it. If they do it at the weekend, the pandemonium, the hype, it will calm down, it will die down before the stock market opens again on Monday. That's a very common thing we see. So it will be an interesting weekend for sure, and I'm sure you guys will be looking forward to it. I cannot wait. I think we are finally moving in the right direction with the sale, and we are finally going to get somewhere, and I think that is so long overdue. I mean, I have been waiting for this for so long. Finally, we will be getting sold as a club. 18 long years. There will be a lot of United fans out there, genuinely, who were not born before the Glazers bought over the club. I mean, it's a horrible thought. I mean, I can't really remember United before then. I was only like 6, 7, like, so obviously not too clued in terms of the ownership, but it is very good to see that we are hopefully getting sold. So some more quotes to bring you guys, of course. So today, this is going to share a little bit of what we have been talking about. So as we know, the stock market stepped in today. Now, this came amid the initial hype and the report from Reuters, and they basically stepped in after United's share price went up by around 10% within a couple of minutes' time. That was very big for me. That happens usually when big news is breaking, when the stock market is getting very excited. They do that to stop the overpricing of stocks. Basically stops companies' share prices crashing if people do to sell. But they only step in at extreme times, and this definitely was one of them. This definitely is something that they felt necessary to step in for, and I think it's really interesting when we consider the ramifications of that, when we consider what that actually means. I mean, Manchester United floated, right? We floated at around $15 in 2010, I think it was, whenever we first went public as a club. In 13 years, it only went up around $6. In the last 2 weeks, it's gone up by 10. So insiders are definitely thinking something's happening. The stock market is thinking something is happening. It reacts to news, but that will be coming from big sources. Say when you see the likes of Reuters, Bloomberg, you may as well be thinking of the David Ornsteins and Fabrizio Romanos of the financial world. That is the sort of category you have to look at those institutions in. When they say something is going to happen, it will have been checked. It will have been really scrutinized and analyzed before they say it. They do not speak for the sake of speaking, and it does look like something is going down. Is there still a twist in the tail? Absolutely. It has been reported, and it is correct by BBC, that if Sir Jim Radcliffe goes in with a new and improved bid, by the laws of this negotiations, it would have to be discussed. It would have to be considered. So Jim Radcliffe could potentially hold back any sort of sale. We can see as well, Stefan is in the comments saying Glazers out and Qatar are on the way. Absolutely. Glazers will be out very soon, and it does look increasingly likely every single day now that Qatar will be buying over Manchester United. How do you guys feel about that? Let me know down below as always. Who else have we got as well? Satwan is saying again, Qatar deal is already done. We are not done yet. It is not done yet. Make no mistake about it. There's a lot of twists and turns that can happen, but we are making progress, and we are finally getting to a point now where I think we will be sold, probably by the end of the month. Who else is down there? Stephanie is saying there is too much talk in this not to have any legs. I mean, yeah, I always do tend to believe something like that. I am a firm believer in that there is no smoke without fire. There has to be something bigger in this. Now, as we know, it was only 2 nights ago that reports came out. United's share price basically went up, and everybody attributed it to Qatari journalist. He accidentally retweeted an illegal streaming site's tweet saying that Sheikh Jassim had won. That could be understandable. That might make a quick jump in the price, but it basically stayed at that level. It stayed at $23, and now it's above 26. So the stock market thinks it's going to happen. All of a sudden, United fans are thinking it's going to happen. We have Rio Ferdinand out taking videos on his phone and putting them online saying he has heard from good sources within the club that is likely to be sold to Qatar. So we have to assume that something is going down. There has to be legs in this. Who else is down there? Ronnie is saying Rio Ferdinand got it right when he called Ronaldo would return to United and turn down City. So I believe he's getting it right about Qatar. I mean, probably. Lucky Singer says, Romano says we're close to doing something for Qatar. And Big T is saying Rio is also saying United would, sorry, Mbappe would come to United. I mean, yeah. I mean, Rio Ferdinand, like, I'm not going to call Rio Ferdinand a source or anything. I think it's an interesting video that he came out with. I don't know why he did it. I mean, he had no real reason to, other than he honestly believed it at the time. Who else have we got in the comments? So here's an important piece of information for anybody who has missed it, anybody just catching up on the stream, on the show, and on the news as a whole, really. The 92 Foundation, the 92 Foundation, whatever you guys want to call them, they are now incorporated to operate on British soil, something that had to be done before any takeover could take place. If you're not registered here, you cannot run your business here. You cannot buy stuff here. So for them to be registered, that means that Sheikh Jassim obviously felt there was a need for them to be registered. And that happened today. That went in only today, and it has been approved. So he did feel the need to do it. He felt the need to go out and register his company within the United Kingdom. that means that he has some sort of a reason for that. And the most obvious reason, the most reason that we were all hoping for, I'm assuming, is that we think he will be buying Manchester United. Lucky Singh is saying, has Romano said what needs to be done to finish the takeover? No, not yet, man. I think your best sources for this, I've said it for a couple of weeks, the best sources for you guys to be looking out for, it's going to be Reuters, going to be Bloomberg, going to be any sort of financial news organizations, because they will be reporting on this. United are a big club on the New York Stock Exchange. We are one of the biggest growing stocks all week, so they will be reporting on this, certainly for the foreseeable future. This will be something really piquing their interest, and we will have there'll be a lot of big investment banks out there. They'll be thinking, right, the stock price is made at $26 at the moment. If we buy it now, Sheikh Jassim's going to have to buy us off it for $40. Then if you do that, if you buy a couple of million, all of a sudden you're making like 15 million on that. So that's what the big organizations will be doing. We wouldn't expect Romano to have inside information on this. It's the same with Simon Stone. It's the same with David Ornstein. A lot of those guys, their sources, their news will come from Manchester United directly. And United will want to play this down. They will want to keep this quiet and as quiet as possible. That's why we saw Simon Stone come out very, very quickly. Stephanie is saying, could it be tonight? I don't think so tonight. I think we will find out, I would say tomorrow, because usually when you have big stock announcements, Friday night is the time it comes out, because that means that there is the weekend for the market to digest it, so that there isn't an overreaction. It swings both ways. I mean, if United went out and basically said tomorrow, that they had made a big loss and they were really losing money and the debt kept going up, that could be very bad for the stock price. So they would say it on a Friday, so the market could be a little less emotional by Monday. It's the same thing with this. There might be news break tomorrow. I wouldn't expect it, any sort of official announcement, but we might get news from some big reporters for big Financial Times and stuff like that as well. Who else is down there? Ashade is saying, off topic, but Marcus Thuram is supposed to join Liverpool. That's unfortunate. I thought Marcus Thuram could have been a good free agent signing for us. Who else is down there as well? Abdul is saying, I love to hear that. I'm saying that's about the takeover news. So guys, with that in mind, how about we make a quick switch over for some transfer news as well on the show here. So let me just change this over for you guys. All right then, so we're talking transfers just for the moment. We will get back to the takeover, of course. Keep voting on the poll if you guys want to let me know, will Qatar win the takeover race? That's what we're asking you guys. 89% of you guys are saying yes at the moment, and Lucky Singh is saying let's hope for a big move tonight or tomorrow night. I think tomorrow night will be the night for it, but definitely keep an eye out on that. So some transfer news to go through with you guys. So we want to talk about goalkeeping situations. Now, we have it in the title. There is big talk. It's getting bigger. It's getting more frequent. David De Gea might be leaving Manchester United. We are seeing links to goalkeepers all over the show, basically. We're seeing the two main ones, of course, are Diogo Costa and Andre Onana. So, firstly, Ogogo from Portugal, they've come out today and they've said that Manchester United are the main contenders to sign Diogo Costa. The process for his sale should accelerate after the international break that is currently on. Speaking of internationals as well, big shout out to Alejandro Garnacho, made his Argentina debut today, so congratulations to him as well. Let's see what else we have in terms of the overall takeover and transfer stuff. So Manchester United, this is coming from Romano. So we can trust this when it's about players, when it's about transfers. I always do trust Romano. He has come out and basically has said that Manchester United's decision on the future budget of a goalkeeper all depends on what happens with David De Gea and his long-term future at the club. If De Gea leaves on a free, which is a possibility, there is interest from Saudi Arabia. We wouldn't blame David De Gea at 32, 33. If he wanted to go to Saudi Arabia, it's definitely a potential, and I wouldn't be too surprised, all things considered, with that. And finally, coming from Jacob Steinberg, he basically has said Manchester United will spend heavily on a goalkeeper if they cannot buy a world-class striker. We do expect that. I expect that to happen, and it's very simple why that will happen. Because last night, it came out. The two big strikers, the two most expensive name signings Manchester United might bring in this summer, Harry Kane, Victor Osimhen, we have been priced out of both moves. We do not have the transfer budget to sign those players and get the other players we need. So we will look for a cheaper striker, probably a Gonzalo Ramos, a Vlahovic maybe Colin Mwani, perhaps Rasmus Højlund. Those are the potentials. Who else is down there? Ronnie is saying, if we can get Qatar, I'll be happy. I'll be one happy man from Belfast. Thanks very much for that, man. You probably know where I'm from anyway. From Lurgan, like, so don't judge me too much, man. So anybody who doesn't know where Lurgan is, it's just a small town in Northern Ireland. So yes, let's get back to the main topic. Let's get back to this takeover, and let's see what the latest is on it. So, of course, as we know, BBC Sport, Faisal Islam, he has come out and he has basically told us that Qatar are in the equivalent position right now of being 3-2 up in the 89th minute. He is confident on this one. He says Reuters have informed him that every single financial terminal, which will be linked to the stock exchanges, has received a message on Manchester United, and that basically is a one-line thing saying, watch out, Qatari takeover could be happening very, very shortly. Now, that's interesting. That definitely contradicts what his is contradicting what his colleague Simon Stone is saying. Now, Simon Stone, we can see the difference here. This is the most important thing. The difference in Simon Stone and football journalists is they go to Manchester United for the news. Manchester United will try to spin their own story. They will always put a PR slant on it. They will always do that. Whenever you see financial journalists go out to Reuters, Insiders and Bloomberg, that means that their stuff is coming straight from people genuinely in the know, who will have sources close to this, who might know the ring group, who might know somebody working on this deal. That's really big for me, and I think it's important that we look out for it, and I think it's very credible. We do trust BBC, we do trust their news reporting, and I think there is a real good chance of Qatar genuinely taking over here, of course. So let me just have a check here. So Faisal Islam, here we are as well, another update from him. He has said, Qatari said that this is their last bid, and it seems like the Glazers are taking it very seriously. The Glazers were serious about selling to them, and they were just trying to squeeze the Qataris for as much money as possible. That's not to be surprised. We know that. We know that, absolutely. Who else is down there? Big T says, if we get Qatar, we have to overpay for everyone we sign. I mean, yeah, we probably will, but we already do as well at the same time, man. You know, we aren't known for good negotiations. Like, we will genuinely go out and spend 40 million on a non-league goalkeeper or something. That's the level you get with Manchester United negotiations. Stephanie is saying, off topic, but very sad news today about Gordon McQueen. Had the pleasure of watching him play for United. R.I.P. big man, a true giant, very cruel disease. Yes, absolutely, rest in peace to Gordon McQueen. I did see that, some very sad news. Player my dad remembers very well as well from the 1980s, and part of the 1983 FA Cup winning team under Ron Atkinson as well. So rest in peace to him, and very sad news for all of his family. Let me just get this in here for you guys. So who else is down in the comments? We're also saying, Abdul is saying Manchester United outstanding goal scorer. I mean, outstanding goal scorer. I mean, yeah, we do need an outstanding goal scorer. Sorry, I think I misread that. Mr. Phil is saying Southern Africa is waiting for Qatar. Ronnie is saying just up the road in relation to Lurgan, I think. And Stephanie is saying Simon Stone is a tap-in merchant. So see what he says about it. I mean, Simon Stone's a negative guy. Whenever we see negative Simon Stone, that's good news for United. That means that United are trying to keep something quiet. They want us to not know about things. They want to keep it under wraps, keep the prices down, keep excitement down, drag things out. Simon Stone has always been that guy. Let me just check that. I'm trying to get something into the comments here as well for you guys. You can check it out. I think I got it. There we go. Okay, so yes, that's the latest coming from BBC. Sorry for that, did just take a second. YouTube only lets me put in 200 character max stuff into the comments. So, Faisal Islam, BBC Sport and Finance has basically said, Qataris have said this was the last bid. The Glazers took this very seriously. The whole time, their whole objective, as a lot of people thought, was to go out and try to squeeze Qatar for as much money as possible. They were genuinely interested in the Ratcliffe bid, make no mistake about it, but I think they always had the feeling that they could squeeze even more out of Qatar than what they could get out of Jim Radcliffe. And I think they looked at it from that point of view. Stephanie says we must not overpay and undersell. I hope Arnold and Murda get their act together this window. I mean, yeah, we need those guys to get their act together this window. And I hope this is the last transfer window for those guys. I hope to see new CEOs, new directors, new scouts brought in. Let's really change the place up. A lot of it's got still. I mean, we have missed out on so many great players who we should have had. I mean, one of the most obvious ones, of course, would be someone like Phil Foden, a player of that talent playing in the Manchester area. How are we not picking him up? We've had Gabriel Martinelli of Manchester United on trial, not once but twice. We let him go. We didn't think he was good enough. We had Mike Phelan, United's assistant manager, saying he and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer didn't think that Camavinga was a good player. I mean, and that's why they didn't sign him. So I mean, what we need to freshen things up. We need to get some fresh ideas in. We have a great manager, an absolutely fantastic manager in Erik ten Hag, a manager who I really think can get this club back to where it needs to be. But a lot of that depends. It will depend on one thing: is he backed with Qatar? Potentially he would be more backed than what he would be with Radcliffe. No matter who buys the club, Erik ten Hag will have more support than what he does now. He has done an amazing job, almost single-handedly. He has to get that support around him, get that financial backing for sure. Let's see, Mr. Phil is saying Qatar equals Mbappe. This I promise you guys. They will want a statement signing for their arrival. I mean, I personally doubt it. I mean, as much as I would love Mbappe at United, that could be so much fun. I mean, we would genuinely have one of the very, very best players in the world. I think he wants to go to Real Madrid. That's my gut feeling. Now, do I think it's possible that Qatar will want to keep him under their umbrella? I think that's absolutely possible. And he might get offered to Manchester United. They might say to him, would you like to go to Manchester United? Then it's up to him. I mean, I wouldn't expect us to spend 150 million this season on anybody. I don't think we can do that. I think 150, 200 million is our maximum budget. We need 3 or 4 players. We cannot just spend all that in one player, as good and as fun as Mbappe would be. I mean, maybe if he wants to stick in Paris for a year and come next season for free, I think that could be fun. He also done in the comments as well. Stephanie is saying it's shocking the players we've let go through our fingers. Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, we've kept hold of some really, really poor players in recent seasons, and we have let some brilliant players go. We've let some unbelievable players slip through the fingers. I mean, Moses Caicedo's an obvious one. We could have had him for £2 to £3 million. We didn't sign him because of an agent issue. We didn't want to pay his agent. I think it was something like 130,000, 150,000 out of a 4 million fee. And now if we want to buy him, he's going to cost more than 90 million. I mean, it does just scream what Manchester United have been like for this last, 10 years plus. So Faisal Islam speaking as well. So he's talking about TAKEOVER. Oh, Innocent is down there. Good to see you, man. He's saying, how are you today? I'm good, man. I hope you're good as well. And I hope you're ready for hopefully some good news regarding this takeover. I mean, I think no matter who you want, I think if you want Radcliffe, if you want Sheikh Jassim, you want this takeover done. Everybody has had enough of it. We want to get moving on as a club. We want to look forward to the transfer window. This has kind of stopped us doing that for a very long time. So, Faisal has basically come out and said the share price is a bit of a barometer of the likelihood of a Qatari victory because Qatar's bid involves buying out all the shares listed in New York. So whenever you see the price going up, that's a sign the market thinks a Qatari deal is likely. Let me just cut some of that out for you guys as well. There we go. Okay, so who else down in the comment? Ronnie is saying, if Qatar win the battle, do you think they'll bring a world-class striker in? Something we really need. I think no matter who wins this battle, no matter who, even if the Glazers are still here, I think we will be buying a big striker this year. I don't think it's a Harry Kane. I don't think it's an Osimhen. I don't think we have the money for that. But I do think that we can go out, get a Kolo Muani, a Gonzalo Ramos, a Højlund, someone like that. Somebody probably in the 50 to 60 million pound range. I think that's probably the maximum spend on a striker. I think If we spend 150 this season, perhaps 50 million on a striker, 50 million on a goalkeeper, then bring in Mason Mount, bring in perhaps Rabiot on a free with some seals, you could maybe squeeze an extra player in. I think that's the most likely scenario. I think it's unfortunate because of the debt repayments, because of the way this club has been run by the Glazers. We cannot spend even if Qatar come in. They cannot immediately invest. And that's because we have £300 million of unpaid transfer fees that we still have to pay to clubs for the likes of Lukaku, for the likes of Jadon Sancho, probably Anthony installments, Casemiro installments, Bruno Fernandes, literally right before the international break. Sorry, the end of the season was literally, we were still paying him off. So we do have a lot of debt to pay off. We call the debt 500 million because that's basically what the Glazers owe. We have another 300 million on top of that because we owe that to other people. We owe that to other clubs because we've bought their players, and it's unfortunate, but we have to get ready for that. Who else is down there? Lucky Singh is saying Gravenberch and Marcus Thuram. That could be good. I mean, I think Gravenberch is a really interesting player, a player who did so well for Erik ten Hag at Ajax. Now, he went to Bayern Munich. I thought he went a little bit young. Probably, what, like 19? He didn't play a lot last season. If we went in for him on loan, I think that could be a really interesting move because Erik ten Hag knows how to get the best out of the guy. He works in Erik ten Hag's systems. He can play 6. He can play number 8. He can play number 10. He could be a really good signing for us if we need to loan in a player. I think Marcus Thuram, you've got an experienced striker there, scored 15 goals last season in the Bundesliga. He's going for free. I mean, that's something you should be all over. We need at least one striker. That could have been a good option for us. Who else have we got down in the comments? United Till I Die says we should go for Barella, literally around 50 million, and Newcastle are in for him instead of Mount. I mean, yeah, thank you very much for the comment, man. I completely agree. I think Nicolo Barella is a brilliant player, a player I would love at United. I didn't think he would leave Inter Milan. I'm surprised at the links to Newcastle. I mean, put it this way, Newcastle, if they get him, that's a better deal. If they get him for 50, that's a better deal than getting Mount for 50 plus. Because if Chelsea are turning down 40 million straight away, they're going to want plus 50 million to sell Mason Mount to United. What do we need to do? I think maybe we can pounce on that. I mean, Nicolo Barella would be really good for us and could be a player like what we need. So I think that's a real interesting shout. Stephanie's down in the comments as well. Young lad needs to force a move. I think that's about Højlund. Yeah, I mean, Atalanta looking 86 million is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I'm pretty sure the Italian league, in terms of TV deals, you're probably looking at what, like maybe 50, 60 million. They're looking more than an entire year's revenue from TV money for Højlund. I mean, he is good, but he's not that good yet. He will eventually be worth that much, but I do think what we need to do is talk those guys down. He will probably try to force a move because he said himself, Manchester United are a top-tier team. He wants to play for top-tier teams, and it certainly would interest him. He has joined Erik ten Hag's agency, the SEG, so he is represented by the same agent. Erik ten Hag just has to pick up the phone to his own agent, and he can talk about Højlund. All of a sudden, a deal can be done. There was talk about video calls. Those were denied by Højlund himself, but there has definitely been contact. Fabrizio Romano said there's going to be contact for it, so it really is possible that we do go in for him. Who else have we got there? Stephanie is saying, Steph in the chat, would you like to secure Ivan Toney for his return in January 2024? In my opinion, he has the United swagger, and as Jade said, he only scored 10 goals this season. I think that's in relation to Rasmus Højlund. I mean, yeah, can't charge that much for a guy who's only scored 10 goals this season, in my opinion. As for Ivan Toney, so if it wasn't for the ban, I absolutely would be all over it. I mean, great player. I think he could be really good at United. Will be interesting to see what happens. He could appeal the ban, perhaps, but I think if he wasn't banned, I would love for us to go in for him. Maybe we'd still go in for him and we get him at a discounted rate. Maybe that's something that's possible. But we will have to see what happens in regard to that. But I can see people are still joining in with us tonight, so thank you very much for joining, guys. We are asking you guys in the poll, have Qatar won the takeover race? That's the question for you guys. Simple answers, yes or no. And at the moment, 90% of you guys are saying yes. So 9 out of 10 are thinking that Qatar have won the race today with the big developments coming out. I think that's very good, a lot of confidence in that. United Till I Die, in all honesty, we need Harry Kane. His 30 goals will bridge the gap to City. I mean, I think we need someone of that quality, absolutely. I think Harry Kane would improve us in a lot of ways, and he would guarantee 30 goals. I think if we're not going to spend the money, I think what we need to do then is, yes, bring in a striker, absolutely, a Hoyland, a Ramos, someone like that. But we can use the money we were going to spend to improve the rest of the team. If we can make high quality chances, have an all round better team, I think we can be higher up the league table. And we have Marcus Rashford, 30 goals. Bruno Fernandes can't step it up. Anthony needs to step it up. Garnacho's going to improve. There is goals in this team, in my opinion. And I think if we do manage to have a better all round team, we will be closer as well. So even if Harry Kane cannot be bought this year, we could have a team basically ready for a top level striker like a Harry Kane to walk into next season. I think go get somebody, go get a Ramos, go get a Vlahovic, I don't know, a Colin Muani. I think guys like that are really good contenders. They could be very, very interesting signings, will come in and guarantee goals. I think as well, when we look at what we did last season, a lot of our issues came down to poor finishing. We had Bruno Fernandes created the most big chances in the entire Premier League. We had Anthony creating chances, Sancho, Rashford. We just could not score. I think anybody remotely better than Martial and Weghorst probably gets 20 plus goals. Anthony Martial himself probably would have got over 20 goals if he could have stayed fit. So I think we make the chances. I think a top level striker like Harry Kane gets easy 30 goals in that team. But I can also see how a younger striker, someone still improving, could come in and get 20. And I think that still improves us. He else is down in the comments. Lee is saying, so we still no sweet. Not quite, man. We are getting close to potentially a Qatari takeover. I think, all things considered, the big financial reporters, BBC, they've come out. Faisal Islam, very, very confident. He has said United are in the equivalent position of being 3-2 up in the 89th minute. So I think there could be progression in that. I think we could start to see the whole thing moving forward. When we see talk of exclusivity agreements, when Sheikh Jassim has registered his company in the United Kingdom today to operate as a business, I think we are getting closer and closer towards the end of this. At long last, I mean, I would have loved to have had this conversation with you guys in February that we were being sold. But I mean, we're halfway through June. The transfer window literally opened yesterday. It's not a great time for it, but it's finally getting done. Other news as well, guys. Of course, Manchester United's first match of the season is going to be Wolves at home at Old Trafford. Monday night football, Monday night kickoff, 8 p.m. Then from there we go away to Tottenham Hotspur. We play Nottingham Forest, and then we play Arsenal as well. So a very difficult start. Two big matches against Spurs, against Arsenal. We could be pretty high up that league table if we go and win all those matches. We would have 3 points on Spurs, 3 points on Arsenal minimum. What do you guys think? How many points are United going to pick up from the first 4 matches of the season next year? Of course, the last home match of the season is going to be Arsenal. Maybe they're going to give us a guard of honour at Old Trafford when we walk out and lift the 21st league title. Maybe that's going to happen. We can dream, like. We can dream. You cannot take a dream away from us. Ashade is saying, I hope for some sort of an announcement tomorrow. I wouldn't expect an announcement as such. Nothing official. Nothing from United yet, because it is not agreed. There will not be a sale done tomorrow. We might get further information on the stories that come out today. I would expect that to drop from news outlets around the world, both financial and sporting. I would expect that. Absolutely expect that. But I do think what we could potentially see over the weekend, within the next week, maybe some sort of agreement on exclusivity. That's something we could see. Mr. Phil is saying 10 points from the first 4 matches. I love the confidence. Ashade is saying 15 points. And United till I die. If we get our targets, possibly 12. Could be a draw in there, depending who we play. Thank you very much for that. Of course, I think most realistic, maybe a draw at the Emirates wouldn't be a bad result. I mean, based on this season, it wouldn't have been. But let's see how we go. Let's focus on Wolves, of course. Big pre-season coming up as well. I'm sure you guys are looking forward to it. Got to bring a lot of watch-alongs and stuff on the channel, something you guys have been asking for a long time. All of pre-season will be covered on the channel, and we will be live every single day throughout the summer. So make sure, if you haven't already, please consider hitting that sub button. Really helps the community, helps the channel out as well. And we do have a Discord up and running where we post daily transfer stuff. stuff around match days, general chats, and of course, as well, all the channel updates. So thank you very much for all that stuff. Stephanie is saying minimum 13 points, but we might drop 2 at the Emirates. I think that's realistic. I think that's pretty fair. I think we'll beat Wolves, probably beat Nottingham Forest. I fancy us to beat Tottenham, especially if Harry Kane is not at the club anymore. I think we can beat them pretty easily. And then we go to Arsenal. And depending on what happens, Arsenal are very close to signing Declan Rice. Very good signing for them. And yeah, I mean, it will be interesting. I'm looking forward to it. I cannot wait. It's kind of funny, like, whenever the season's coming to an end, you're sort of looking forward to transfer windows. And then you're like 1 or 2 weeks into it. And then you're like, I want the football back. I just want the matches back. Lee Sharp is saying, what does it matter who we play? Saying about other teams. Hard start to the season. We'll play the better lads. Brighton plays the team. Awesome to watch. I mean, yeah, Brighton are absolutely fantastic to watch. Absolutely. And I think it's working as a team. I think it's playing as a team that is so good for them. Like Brighton, they're working on a small budget. They have a very good scouting system. They bring in some of the best young players in world football. I mean, if Sheikh Jassim wants to come in and make an impact of Manchester United, go and buy Brighton's scouting team, and just do that, and then we'll see what happens from there. But any more thoughts, guys? Keep getting them into the comments. Keep voting on the poll. I'm asking you guys tonight: have Qatar won the takeover race? At the moment, 88% of you guys are saying yes. So 12% are saying no. I think there's some realists in there. I think a lot of people are very excited. I'm excited as well. I think we do need to keep our heads, keep a bit composure going forward with this and see where we end up. I think we're getting closer to it. I do not think it's a done deal yet, but we are getting towards the we're getting towards the end of this. Hopefully. So as I said, I'll just put it in the comments for you guys as well. So it's the takeover is described as Qatar going 3-2 up in the 89th minute, but there's still injury time to go. Let's hope that it isn't going to be a Barcelona 99 situation. Let's just hope that that's not going to happen in injury time here. Let's just get this done. Let's get new owners in, Glazers out, and then we move on. We can finally work as a normal football club. That's what I want to see. Stephanie's down there saying, if we don't play as a team or take our chances, we need better than 58 league goals. Yeah, I mean, 58 league goals, absolutely horrendous. Yeah, I mean, 58 league goals in 38 matches for Manchester United. It's poor finishing, yes. It's very disappointing. We were very reliant on Marcus Rashford, hence the need to bring in some real reinforcements. Lee Sharp is saying we're into Fergie time. Stephanie is saying depends on how much injury time. And Ashid is saying the 12% are Sir Jim Ratcliffe fans. I don't know. I think people are still realistic. As we know as United fans, bad things can happen to us very late on. Good things can happen, bad things can happen. It can swing either way. We know this. But I do think that we're getting towards the end of it. Let's hope for no more drama. I mean, if Radcliffe goes in with another bid, that's going to add another month onto this. Because then Sheikh Jassim has to go in with another bid. And then the Glazers just win again. What they've kind of lived off throughout the entire sales process is Sheikh Jassim and Jim Radcliffe going head to head. You bid, I bid, you bid, I bid. And that means that they were basically able to charge whatever they wanted. Whenever Sheikh Jassim threatened to walk away, the game was done. If he walked, that was it, because then they had to take Sir Jim Radcliffe's offer. That's why I think all of a sudden they're much more willing to do business with Qatar. I think that's why they're taking it seriously, and I'm not surprised. Irfan is saying United miss all the best players in the transfer market. Absolutely we do. It's such a shame. I mean, Jude Bellingham has just gone to Real Madrid. We could have bought him from Birmingham. It was a choice between them and Dortmund. If we were a better run team, he probably would have come to United at the age 16. And we could have Jude Bellingham in midfield. But we weren't. We were, at the moment, I think Jose was the manager at the time, was he? Or maybe it was Ollie. Stadium was falling down. He came to the training facilities and got a personal tour from Sir Alex Ferguson. And he wasn't impressed. I mean, like him and his dad, his agent, they were not impressed. Who else is down there? William is saying, is this true? I'm assuming that's in relation to the Qatari stuff. It's all true. It is all true in the sense that Qatar are starting to move ahead in this takeover race. This is coming from big financial outlets, the guys who represent a lot of Wall Street, a lot of investment banks. They will have the inside scoop on this. They will have the inside information. Lee is saying Ratcliffe, Sir Jim won't fix nothing. It's a no-brainer for the fans. We said this before. I do think Radcliffe probably would be a decent owner in the long run. I think what Radcliffe could do in 5 to 10 years, Qatar can probably do that in 2 to 3. I think we are closing the gap to Manchester City, closing the gap to the bigger teams around us in half the time. I think what Radcliffe, when Radcliffe basically came out and said the Glazers could stay on, I think he definitely put a nail in the coffin for any real support for his bid from a lot of United fans. United fans have protested, people have been arrested, people have had their season tickets gone. We've even seen FC United of Manchester start up, an entire football club of people of former season ticket holders who left Manchester United because they hated the Glazer family so much. They hated everything they stood for, and Radcliffe comes in and expects fan support by looking to keep them on, even if it is with a promise that he will eventually buy their shares. That's still not great. It's still not great. Irfan is saying Caicedo is going to go to Chelsea. It could absolutely. It might happen. Stephanie says we need a fast track at warp speed. Yeah, I mean, that's what we need to do. We need to fast track this because Man City have just won a treble. Manchester United, yes, we won the League Cup. We finished third. Is that where we want to be? No. If Man City win the league next season, they'll have won it for 4 seasons in a row. They're the big favourites to do it. I mean, we're seeing the legacy built by Sir Alex Ferguson quickly being caught up to by Pep Guardiola and Man City. I mean, they've won the treble. They could win 4 leagues in a row, which we've never done. They are quickly making a legacy of their own, and we need to be able to step up to that. We cannot be having Manchester City, who just 12 years ago had never won a league title, had won an FA Cup, and that was it. I mean, that's what we're talking here. Those guys have caught up so fast because they're run as a club. They have ambitious owners. We have had owners who've took £1 billion out, while City's owners have put over £1 billion into that team. That's the difference here. We cannot compete, and I don't think with the Glazers we ever will. It's Sir Alex Ferguson. In the last couple of seasons, he was still very successful. We won Champions Leagues, we won Premier Leagues. Do you know why we won those? Because the team that he had already built of Michael Carrick, Rio Ferdinand, Wayne Rooney, Cristiano Ronaldo, we had Golds, we had Giggs still in the team. That was all done before the Glazers ever stepped foot in Manchester United. The big signs were, and Wayne Rooney was chastised at the time for this, Wayne Rooney was spoken out against by the club and by the media. He called them out. We sold Ronaldo, we replaced him with Michael Owen. We got rid of Tevez, we brought in Gabriel Obertan. I mean, that's what we were up against. And the fact that we managed to win any Premier League titles against Man City during Ferguson's time, that was just a miracle, because those guys were buying David Silva, Yaya Toure, Sergio Aguero. We were buying Shinji Kagawa. We were buying Gabriel Obertan. We were buying Bebe. I mean, that was the difference for a long time. That's what we have to get back to. We need to be back to the ambitious side. Whenever the former owner, Martin Edwards, was in charge, now he wasn't always the most popular. He always wanted United to have the biggest and best, most impressive. He wanted to have the most impressive stadium in the Premier League. He firmly believed in it. Old Trafford was a work of art. Carrington, the very best training facility in all of the country, now it's a shadow of its former self. It hasn't been updated in 20 years. I mean, Ronaldo left in 2008. He came back and he said he was shocked 15 years later that it was the exact same gym, the exact same pool that it was whenever he first left. We literally have not put money into this club. The soul has been sucked out of it. The ambition has been sucked out of it. Maybe now we can finally start to get back to it. Ronnie is saying Sir Jim is just as bad as the Glazers. I think it's difficult to speak in terms of hypothetics, and Radcliffe might never become the owner, but one thing we can say is what he has pledged is very little. There is always a lot of uncertainty around his bid. There wasn't a lot of clarity about what he wanted to do with his bid. Would he invest $1 billion in 2 to 3 seasons? Would he go for a new stadium? Would he build a new training facility? There was never really too much in terms of actual never really too much in terms of actual guarantees, pledges, what he wanted to do. And I think Qatar came in, they've said, we want to invest 1 billion, we want to redevelop the stadium, redevelop the training facilities, and back the manager with a lot of money. He also got down in the comments. Irfan is saying, you're right, facts. Thank you for that. Lee is saying, Sir Jim, a poor man's billionaire. How? I don't think he's a poor man's billionaire. I mean, Jim will have more money than I could ever dream of. And that's okay. I mean, that's fine. Like, money isn't the point of life, as we know. But his money, compared to what Qatar have, it's a lot smaller. Now, Jim Radcliffe, in terms of his total assets, his company, Ineos, I mean, yeah, they probably have the money to go head to head with just about anybody. That's the truth. But it's how he gets that money. He can't just go and take it from Ineos because they got shareholders. They will have people invested in that company. What he has to do is go for loans. He has to go for bonds. He has to sell his assets. This is a bad financial time, as we know. I mean, prices for everything are going up. Inflation is massive. Interest rates are just going up and up and up. So you're looking at a situation here where it's not a good time to borrow money. It's not a good time to put loans onto your company. And I'm sure Ineos shareholders are looking at this thinking, we don't want 5-6 billion extra debt put on this company just to buy Manchester United. I'm sure some of them are thinking that. Stephanie is saying we always bought the best player available in the league. Keane, Rooney spring to mind. Irfan says PSG are going for Ramos. I'm assuming that's Gonzalo. And Mr. Phil says if Sir Jim really loved Man United, he would have never made a bid. The Glazers, we are all waiting in this bidding war because of him. It's interesting. It's a good take. He also got Lee is saying Sir Jim was going to take made out of the meat and titties pies to save a few quid. I mean, maybe we could see that. I mean, maybe all of Old Trafford will be back to a standing stadium because Jim's going to sell the seats. I don't know. Anything is possible. I'm just surprised that the stadium is still called Old Trafford. I'm amazed the Glazers haven't tried to rename it. Maybe that's something that could have happened. Thankfully, it will say Old Trafford, and we will not be the Spotify Camp Nou or anything like that. We will not have that in Manchester. Thankfully not. Any more thoughts, guys? Get them into the comments down below. I'll check for some of the latest news breaking as well. There's always stuff breaks around about 9 o'clock. Usually when the watershed ends, press embargoes are lifted and tomorrow's headlines basically come out online before they're printed. So let's have a look, see what's breaking regarding United. Just let me load this up for a second. So Simon Stone said David Ornstein and Mike Keegan were two of my colleagues, by the way. I can just say that. I don't really get that. That doesn't really have to do too much with anything. He also down the comments. Daz is in there saying, no way he ever was a United fan, was a Chelsea season ticket. And Lee says Red Sox Trafford. I mean, who knows? Who knows? So, according to Telegraph Football, 2 top clubs are expected to bid for Declan Rice in the next 24 hours. Arsenal will make a second bid, and Manchester United are rumoured to be one of the other clubs. I mean, I don't back it. I don't buy it. I don't think we'll be going for Declan Rice. I would be very surprised if we brought in Declan Rice. United have registered their interest in Declan Rice, but it will not happen. I mean, yeah, I mean, I can't say I'm surprised in that one. I mean, would you guys want Declan Rice for that price? I mean, let me know. I mean, I think he's a good player, but I mean, 80 million plus? Nah, not for me. Not for me. Who else is down there? Everything Carpy is saying, Mr. Radcliffe bidded for Chelsea and is a Chelsea season ticket holder. He's a traitor and does not care about Manchester United. Thank you very much for that. I think it's interesting that he is a Chelsea season ticket holder, that he came out and said that when he wanted to buy Chelsea. I mean, I've no reason to doubt him. I mean, but we do. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's interesting to see what's going to happen. I think that we are slowly but surely getting towards this. We are slowly but surely getting towards this transfer, this takeover stuff finally being done. Manchester United target Moses Caicedo has decided to join Chelsea for some strange reason. I don't know why he thinks that's a particularly good idea. I mean, they've got about 500 players and about 600 midfielders at that. Wouldn't have minded Caicedo at United. Think he would have been brilliant for us, but I'll get that into the comments. Daz is also saying R.I.P. Gordon McQueen. Absolutely, yes, R.I.P. to him, and rest in peace. Very sorry to hear that as well. Very sad news for the family. 1983 FA Cup winner with Man United. A player my dad remembers quite well. Stephanie says New York refurb stadium will be called QT, not OT anymore. I mean, yeah, I mean, so long as they don't call it something cheesy like New Trafford if they build a new one, I mean, I think I'll be okay. I think I'll be okay. It will be interesting to see what goes on. I'm excited to see what's going to happen long term with it. I think we will probably go for redevelopment first, keep that sort of legendary status of Old Trafford. It's so sad to see teams move out of their like iconic old stadiums to go into soulless American old style stadiums. I mean, you've got Spurs, of course, leaving White Hart Lane. You've got the Milan clubs looking out of the San Siro. I think we should take a leaf out of Real Madrid's book. They went and spent billions redesigning, refurbishing the Bernabeu. It's state of the art. It's absolutely state of the art, and that's what we should be going for, in my opinion. Daniel's down there as well, saying he is a new buyer of Manchester United. There we are. Daniel has bought the club. Very happy to announce that, exclusive to you guys. Everything Carpi is saying, he hasn't decided to nothing. It's papers. I mean, yeah, let's see what happens. I mean, I think I said it would be brilliant. I don't know if we have the money for him. I think he's better off at Brighton than he is at Chelsea. I mean, Brighton are a better team than Chelsea. You're going to be in European football next season. The only thing that Chelsea's going to give you is 250 grand a week. I mean, that's it. I'm sure he's still well enough paid at Brighton. But I don't know. I mean, Chelsea, they might have a better season next year. Let's see what happens, all things considered. Daniel is just saying you just bought United for 35p. Ronnie is saying this is for Sir Jim. Remember the old saying, if you lie down with dogs, you get up with fleas. That is a good saying. Actually, I've heard that a couple of times as well. Ashid is saying, just imagine when Old Trafford finally gets renovated and they name it like the Sir Alex Ferguson Stadium or the 92 Foundation Arena. I mean, I wouldn't want to rename the stadium regardless. I mean, I like having the stands. I think it's good we dedicate them to legends of the club, the Sir Alex Ferguson stand, Sir Bobby Charlton stand. I don't know if I want to change that there. Stephanie is saying 10 Trafford. Any more ideas what to rename Old Trafford if we build a new one? Let me know down below in the comments. Most creative one gets a shout out as well from you guys. Any more thoughts? Let me know down below as well. In terms of the poll, I asked you guys earlier, have Qatar won the takeover race? That was the big question for you guys. 88% of you guys have said yes. I mean, I think a lot of people are reacting to the news. I think that the news has been positive for Qatar. I think it's been a very, very good day for United fans in general. No matter who you want to buy this club, everybody can agree we want the Glazers out. That is the biggest unifier in this fan base at the moment. As always, there is division. People will want Sir Jim, people will want Qatar, but I think getting Glazers out is the most important thing, and I think a lot of us will be excited. A lot of us will be happy with it. DB says, bought some Man Utd stock by the rumours, sell the news. There we are. There's a man in here knows how to make some money. Leeds, Pakistan. Oh my god. Yeah, man. But I mean, yeah, so any more thoughts, guys? Get them down there. Daz is saying Old Quarterford. I mean, there's another interesting one. As long as it's not called New Trafford, I'll be happy. New Trafford would just be, like, horrible. I think as well, maybe we should start, like, a petition. Maybe we'll write to Sheikh Jassim if he wins a bid. Can he put Football Club back on our badge, please? Please, I mean, do we need to say any more? Do we really need to say any more than that? Any more thoughts, guys? Get them down into the comments and let me know what you think as well. Just for anybody who does not know, we have actually launched a Discord this week, so it's an interactive community. I'm on it pretty much every day. A couple of other guys are on it. There's some good chats in there. We post all the transfer stuff. We post all the transfer news breaking as well regarding all clubs. We'll have match day coverage, of course, and general chats, places to rant and vent, and we'll try to do some online shows as well, get you guys involved so you can let me know your thoughts as well. Stephanie is in the theatre of new dreams. That's actually not a bad one. That's not a bad one. It's been the theatre of nightmares for too long. Let's bring those dreams back to Manchester United. So guys, with that in mind, if you do want to support the channel, please consider hitting that sub button. Really helps me out, helps grow the channel and the community. The support is absolutely fantastic. So thank you very much for all that. I'm going to leave the stream here. So guys, I will see you tomorrow, hopefully with some more takeover news, some big updates, hopefully on the way. See you guys then.